Celestial love, watch as the moon and the sun collide over northern lights. Like Pablo Picasso painting the night across the open water. The roots give birth to the dancing leaves, whispering to each other. Our hearts are breaking as our mother grieves, and she cries. Okay, everybody, we're back tonight. We got another great guest that's coming on tonight. We also have some updates that we're going to show you, and we're going to give you some examples of things that we have been talking about. We're going to go ahead and start with the announcements, which are that I have two Facebook group pages. One is the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, in parentheses, Antlers and surrounding areas. Also, I have Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Son Center and Database. Those are both on YouTube, Facebook, and also this YouTube channel that we're streaming with now. So I'm gonna give some guest calls who have been on before, because we are also keeping up with people to let them know, and to also let the viewers know that, you know, we're not just a group, or, you know, like the other Facebook group pages, which I don't recommend anyone really go to, because they're not going to give you answers. There's hecklers, there's scoffers at all this evidence. They deter people, and they, in a way, they do harm people by trying to interfere with that information. So I hope this one's right, but I think that's a 9. I'm gonna try this anyway, and then I'll try the other one again, and then I'll correct it, which I should have corrected yesterday.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Hey, doing good. How are y'all doing?
Good. We're doing good. We're doing our nightly check-in with everybody to make sure everything's going well, or if you have any updates for us, that anything that we might be that the viewers might need to know.
Yeah, my son had called me. He went fishing a few days ago on the Tombigbee River over here, and him and a friend, and he said this big black mass looking thing came swimming fast towards him, and so him and his friend grabbed their guns and started shooting at it. And when they started shooting at it, it started like going really fast in the opposite direction and popped its head up out from underneath the water, and they started shooting at it again. But he didn't know if they killed it. He said he knew they hit it.
Yeah.
But he said that made them crank on up and get out of there and come on home. So I'm just glad I know the information I know from y'all, because y'all saving lives. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm glad they did that, because a lot of people won't pay attention to that, and that's whenever we hear people drown or the boat turned over.
Yeah. And I just found out today from I'm not going to say their names because they used to be a game warden, that there's a lot of cover-ups and stuff going on in my county. So, and he was telling me about what they call a hunting or killing field over by the Tombigbee River, where a lot of hunters have went missing over the past 20 years.
Yeah, a lot of people call that slaughterhouses.
Yeah, and said that they found this makeshift, like teepee looking, where the big pine trees formed together like a little house.
Yeah, yeah.
And found all the hunters, the missing hunters, tore up clothes with blood in them, and some bones and stuff like that. And it was covered up as a bear.
Yeah.
And he said that the government came in and put a fence up, and I know where he's talking about. A humongous fence, and put a black, like, tarp thing over it where you can't see through the fence. And it's got, like, barbed wire turned around the opposite direction, kind of like a prison.
Yeah.
Like, to keep something in and not let anything out or whatever.
Yeah.
I was shocked to hear that today.
Yeah, it is shocking to hear, but it is a common thing once, you know, people start talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a man who he's on the film The Legend of Boggy Creek. He's the guy who played the Bigfoot in that movie.
Yeah.
And he also knows of slaughterhouses and things. He has stories also of what exactly what you're talking about.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I mean we've come up on those killing fields, those slaughterhouses, the boneyards, everything that you're talking about. We found those also up here in Oklahoma and Texas. Oh, awesome.
Okay.
It is a common thing, and it is covered up. And a lot of times they'll come in and they'll lay cement down on the whole thing just so no one will dig in those areas.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did have a very big cover up, and it was lucky that you was able to talk with this person because most of them won't mention it or you know they moved from that town.
Yeah, I just decided I've known him a long time. I just walked up to him and said, "Have you ever seen anything strange in the woods or like weird?"
Yeah.
Because he's been a game warden for a long time, and he looked at me kind of in a relieved way, like, "Thank God you brought that up," or something, and then just started telling me that story. So.
Oh my goodness. And then that's usually what it takes is just somebody, they're just waiting for someone else.
Yeah.
Not mock them.
Yeah, people who won't, mock or scoff or something like that.
Yeah.
Roll them out of groups for talking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and yeah, we've been finding all these groups, these Facebook groups that are shutting people down for sharing information like this. That and for us, it's like they'll ask us, "Well, how do you know this stuff?" And we're going, "Well, we have friends who have actual accounts or actual witnesses to these things. We don't give names or anything, but for we know these things are going on."
Yeah. Well, I got news for them. They try to shut me up. They can try all they want, but I don't care. I'm telling everybody.
Yeah, us too.
They picked us, picked with the wrong person, so I ain't telling them. So.
That's right. We're proud of you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I'm glad your family and the boating knew exactly what to do, because they're not coming up to push your boat for you,
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so proud of you, April, and sharing this information with people and letting other people be aware of what's right there with them.
Yeah, and thank you. I'm proud of myself too.
Good, April. Good. We really are here. I mean, warrior. Yeah, we're talking to a lot of warriors. I mean, all the people who are speaking up, we all call them warriors because they are taking that stand, and this is for not just for the individual person, but we have families and friends, and we just have to do it because other ones who may get talked to about it, and that's the thing, when people come up and try to talk to us and try to deter us or something, we'll say, hey, people need to know this stuff.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Wow. So we're going to make a few more calls and check in with the other trackers, and because we do have some more updates with them. Are you listening to the show?
Yeah, and I meant to tell you, the guy who said that about meeting up with him and his wife.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I would like to do that.
Okay, great. And I believe he'll be on in a minute. He's a great guy, and you guys will just hit it off, because he's got a lot of information too, and he can help you out right in that area.
Okay. Well, I sure appreciate that.
Yeah, and you'll love his wife too. She's great too. They're good people.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll pass that word on whenever he's coming through, and you guys have a sandwich or something, and just look around or something. Heck, take a drive or something.
All right. Well, y'all have a great night.
Okay, we're gonna check in with you again tomorrow night, though.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be waiting.
Okay, have a good night. Be safe.
All right, y'all too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so our neighbor either drove by or so now we talked to a grandmother in Arkansas, and that's who we just got off the phone with, who told us about Bigfoot swimming towards their families' boats, and also in some of these same areas, which is probably one of this next area. There's a lot of drowning victims. People are being found. Well, there's a lot of missing people in these areas, and we have the trackers and the people who are giving us this information so that you have this information. We want you to know things are happening right now. People are disappearing. People are missing. It's summertime. It's swimming time, picnic time. And if you've been with this channel, we tell you those areas are ambush areas where the public, where the children, camping areas, roadside stops. Be observant. Go out that 50 yards. Go check out what's around you. Go out and find those best ambush spots and look for tracks. Look for matted down right around the trees in like a V form. Look for that. Okay, we're gonna and that was the grandmother in Arkansas who gave us some updated reports. In Alabama, I'm sorry, who is giving us some reports, and we're doing daily reports with each guest and of activity and trackers. We're getting their information also of things going on in their areas. Give me just a second. I'm gonna dial another one, and then we are going to get an update from Louisiana. And we also have, in 2 days, we also have another person who is a female from this same area that we're about to get an update from, which is not too far from this very same area. And we'll speak with her in 2 days. But give me 1 second. We're going to dial this and get an update again from one of our other trackers. And he's a very, very experienced tracker. He's one of the best trackers that we've tracked with. He knows his area. He knows his tracking. So let's see if we got him on the phone here. Let me try that number again. Make sure I dial it right. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, maybe I pushed the wrong number for a second there, but we're gonna talk with another tracker friend real fast as a check-in and get an update on his area. And we do know of some things that we need to your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message. Okay, so the tracker that we just tried to call, he did call today. He did give us an update today of missing people that they're looking at or investigating. They're not on the team, but they're doing their own investigations. And they are reporting that in this area, at the water areas where the swimming holes are, there are people missing. And there was recently 3 girls missing. 2 were found dead. 1 still missing. We do know that Bigfoots do drown people and drink the blood, so that whenever and if the bodies are found, then there's no reason for their death except that the coroners do not specify that the blood is missing. So, okay, we're gonna get a hold of another person real fast. See if we can get a a update real fast. And this is the Facebook call, and then we have another tracker we have to check in with, and then we will be introducing our guest, and we will be just. And this one call is very far away, so we'll give it just a second. Oh, that was my fault actually. He is an 8 o'clock call, and I forgot about the time zone. So let me give another tracker a call and check in. And I also want to show some of the new structures. See if we can get that.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Okay.
Okay, I'm just now posting those pictures you sent to me today.
Okay.
Now, was when you these are prime example pictures that I was kind of looking for, but I need to know if it's the same scenario or the same situation I would see these at. So what I want to ask you is, were these blinds that you found, these brand new blinds, was this after the blood moon, and was this after like and it may not have rained, but did you get thunder and lightning? Did you hear that or anything like that?
Yes, this was after the blood moon. I actually found them today. That's in the yard, in the backyard.
Yeah.
And yeah, I found them this morning. And I had cut the yard, the grass, Friday, and that had been done. So it happened between Friday night and, well, last night, I would say. And I was talking about the puppy and the goose and everything. And of course it was the thundering and lightning. And I also got video of that I took a while ago before I left the house. And you can hear the blackbird in the background while I was doing the video. I was going to send it to you.
Yeah. Just the night before, during the blood moon, which is what, night or two ago, I guess.
Yeah.
We were having a live stream, and we were talking just about this same situation, the same scenario, because there are a group of Bigfoots called Thunder, and there's a group of Bigfoots called Lightning, and they always come out, during the rain and everything.
Right.
So whenever we hear these trees breaking and things like that during the storm, and it could be just a light rain, but that thunder and that rain will be, that thunder and that lightning will be making a lot of noise, but it could be just a light drizzle, and sometimes not even any rain. But they will bend those trees for people to come out that next morning.
Yeah.
They make exactly what you showed us. In the distance, it's a blind. That's just a makeshift quick blind for someone to come out in the morning with their chainsaws, or to walk around that blind side.
Yeah.
If I was to blow this up, I think I would be able to see one sitting in that blind in the distance.
Maybe. I got a bunch more shots and stuff, and I took pictures of the old blind and everything, and the changes in it. And actually, they're up high. Before the break, there looks like where a hand or something had pulled the bark loose and everything. You can see the scrapes and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, if you can ever get pictures of those scrapes in the mornings or those close ones.
Yeah. And the other one is of a little locust, where a locust tree was cut down, and it's got the little spraglings shooting up, and you can see where they're pushed over, and that's directed at the back door.
Sure is. I also want to know about, I've got a picture up here of a huge footprint, probably about, looks like about a 22-inch print.
Yes, I got that earlier this evening. Went out to the lake, and there's a spot out there that is a very curious spot, and I'd like to get the trackers out there with me one evening or one day and go through that. But I hadn't been out of the car in probably 10 minutes, and I found those two.
Now, is this a swimming hole or a fishing hole or a picnic area?
It's a lake at a Colgate Lake.
Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, are you on the backside, or is this a place where people go? I mean, like
that's a big time fishing spot and hangout spot for the teenagers, and a little party spot where they go partying and stuff. And
oh no,
and you can see the toe impressions and everything, especially on that one.
Yeah.
And
could you make any claw marks or anything?
I didn't see claw marks. The one was, the long one is actually, I think, a short one. If you look kind of together, it's probably 12 inches by 8 inches wide or 7 inches wide, something like that. But it's like it's stepped in a couple of different angles on that one.
Yeah.
And then the great big one is by itself, and it's down by the water. It's pretty much almost at the water's edge.
Wow. These things around people and they don't even know it.
Yeah, and I had got a 3-toe, which had the claw marks and stuff last summer, but it was in the water, and but it was clearly identifiable.
Yeah.
And but it was a long 3-toe with the claws.
And you got these prints today, right?
I got those prints today.
And that's how recent. And yeah, we're getting other reports with these check-ins of Bigfoot swimming towards boats.
Right, I heard that.
Yeah, so yeah, 2 today. So we have to be very careful. I mean, our youth and our young people right now, the Bigfoots already have the traps set up, the blinds from the winter foliage, and now that the spring's coming in, those leaves are covering up those perfectly weaved traps or blinds.
Right, exactly. They in fact, that one old blind, y'all remember what it looked like when you come over and track that one time, and where you could just see through them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then, but in the video I took, I'm going to send you that you can't see through them.
Yeah.
And from one side, you can't even tell that's what it is until you go up into the rooms of it.
You're right. And a lot of people don't know these things, and it just looks like bushes.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to scoff at everybody else.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go ahead and check in with our guest tonight, and we'll check in again with you tomorrow night on any new updates and everything. And we really do appreciate the work that you're doing out there and finding all these things and these locations where people are going. You know, those are the places we need people to be aware of somehow.
Right. Okay. Well, tomorrow morning I'm going to be headed to Alabama. So
Okay.
we're going to be running down there.
Okay. So our other
maybe I can give you some updates from down there.
Hey, great. Also, April and them said that they would be more than happy to meet with y'all and y'all have a good talk and maybe drive around.
Okay.
Hey, this sounds good. And you're heading out. Okay, I'll let her know, and I'll hook y'all both up as far as connecting y'all.
Okay, that'll work great.
All right. Hey, we'll check in with you tomorrow just to make sure you're safe and doing good.
All right, y'all too. Be safe.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Malcolm.
All right.
All right. Bye. Okay, so those were some check-ins. We do have one more at 8 o'clock, and we're going to try to weave that in. So tonight we have a guest that's going to be coming on. I'm going to give you what I know, and that is that we talked one time, and he had talked about hearing heavy hoof prints while he was out either camping or along a railroad area. So we're going to talk with him more, and I'm sure he's got more updates, but he is in an active area, and we do need to hear what's going on in these areas, in all areas. And also, if you're a viewer who has an experience or, things that are happening in your area, shoot us a line, let us know what's going on, and we can send you the answer of things that you need to be doing right now. And that's the whole thing about what we're doing is things to do right now. So give us one quick second. I'm going to call our guest, and we will get a hold of our other guest around 8 o'clock if we can. But if we're still involved in this, then we're going to try to just shoot them a text or a message. But they do know that we will be in contact with them. So, calling our guest for tonight, a very good young man, family man.
Hello?
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing?
Oh, all right. Pretty good. What's going on with you?
Hey, do you have an echo in the background?
Oh, I do. I better cut the speaker off then. How was that?
That sounds a lot better. How you doing?
All right.
All right, yeah, we're
What's
getting
going on up your way?
Oh, everything, lots of things, lots of Bigfoot activity. Trying to get the word out to everybody, make sure that our neighborhoods and people are aware.
Okay. The last from around here and near Albemarle, Stanley County, North Carolina, there was a little activity that happened up at Falls Reservoir. There's a couple of big rocks thrown in the water near a boat, a fisherman, as he was docking, and then a heavy crash, like running through the woods. That's the last thing I heard of around here that's happened. That happened about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, let's get back to that fisherman guy.
I don't know his name. It was on a Facebook post on the. I don't know how you feel about telling what Facebook groups or whatever
but it was.
Yeah, you can. It's okay. Go ahead.
I think it's called Bigfoot 911. It's a Facebook page for North Carolina Bigfoot
Okay.
sightings. It was in there, I do believe. And then I've got a friend, really good friend I've known more than 20 years. He was fishing down at Falls Reservoir one night, and from what the Facebook post said was almost identical to what he said happened to him. That a couple of boulders or big rocks or whatnot got thrown in the water around him, and then he heard just some sound like an elephant going through the woods away from him.
Yeah, I know that. I know that sound.
You know, and all that. You know, I've never experienced the tree breaks or none of that. I've been in the woods before and heard a tree fall, which I thought was odd, but that's neither here nor there. But there's this place down the road from where I live. Local people call it the trestle. It's just a train trestle going over the lake, and we go down there and fish, or you know, get a group of people together to have certain, you know, social activities or whatever. But I was down there one night fishing by myself, and something come running up behind me. I don't know any other way of explaining it than that. Something heavy-footed come running up behind me, and I turned around, and there was nothing behind me, nothing at all.
How far did it sound like it was behind you?
Oh, about 15 feet.
There was something there. You just couldn't see it.
Well, I mean, I stayed for about another hour after that, you know, because I figured if whatever it was, if it was going to hurt me, it was going to hurt me right then when it ran up behind me. You know? But I didn't see anything, so, you know. But the one story you seem to remember is the hooves.
Yeah. Hey, can we kind of, because I know that one, but the viewers don't. So can we kind of like start over with that one so everybody kind of understands what you're talking about?
Sure. There's a little place close to where I live. It's called Tuckertown Dam, Tuckertown Reservoir, and it's a place where you can go fishing, hiking, whatever. You camp beside the river, whatever. And so I pulled up down there. It was a full moon night. You know, it's clear skies, beautiful out. You know, you could see forever just by the moonlight. And I went down there to, I like to do night hiking. And so I was getting my stuff prepared, sitting in my car, getting my backpack prepared, whatnot. And had my windows down. It was summer. And I started hearing these hooves. And it just kept getting closer. And it was like to the right side of me. So I parked in front. The tip of my car was in front of the railroad tracks going left to right. Right to left, whatever. So these hooves started coming towards me from my right while I was sitting in the car. And I was like, you know, this just something ain't right. I was like, I thought it was a deer at first. So I was like, but it just kept coming and I couldn't see nothing. And I was like, what in the world? So I had, you know, this was a long time ago, like 25 years ago, right? So you remember the old mag lights that like took like the 6 to 8 D-cell batteries?
Yeah, I remember those big things.
Yeah, you use it as a club and still use it as a flashlight.
Yeah, that's what it was used for, really.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of military police and police used to use those quite a lot. But I shine my light. I mean, you know, the range of those things is pretty good. And I shine my light, and I'm talking about underneath like overgrowth that was like near the railroad track or near the ditch on either side of the railroad track, and there's nothing. So I'm standing here, and then and that's when I notice I'm not hearing 4 legs, I'm hearing 2. So it sounds like a 2-legged person with hooves walking is what it sounded like. And it walked right past me. It came from my right, it walked right past me, went to my left, kept walking down the railroad tracks until it was gone and I didn't hear it no more. And that's it. That's what happened.
No, I mean I understand exactly what you're talking about. There's well, and like we discussed about the different DNAs of the Bigfoots, cause like we even showed that the Conan book, the hooves on the Bigfoot in that Conan book.
Yeah.
And that come out right after we had that one talk. I was like, well, look, it's right here.
Right. We've seen one of the other Bigfoot channels that I listen to. A lady sent in an email, and she was in Canada, around the Sylvan area, BC Sylvan Forest area, whatever. The part in the email, when it got to the part in the email where she was talking about hooves, she started hearing hooves. That's when my ears perked up.
Yeah.
And I was like, And later on through the email, she said she saw what was making those hooves, those hoof sounds.
Uh-huh.
And she said that it was a satyr.
A beast, a Bigfoot. Is that what you're talking about?
I guess I got a satyr from Greek lore.
Yeah.
The goat people.
Okay.
The 2-legged head of a goat, head of a ram.
Yeah, like like the god ball, I guess you would call it.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, like Pan.
Yeah, like Pan. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a natural.
Yeah.
That's natural. That body definition, I guess, is very common. I mean, we found hoof marks and scrape marks and things like that, and we know that some of them have hooves. The different numbers of feet. Some have like a bird feet. Things like that.
Oh, that would just be horrifying to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and if you would have seen what was walking past you, that might have been a little horrifying itself.
Yeah, it probably would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, what was that one kids movie where the goblin spit in the kid's eyes and then they were able to see everything? I can't remember what movie that was, but I wish something like that could happen to me.
Yeah,
because I know I'm not crazy, and I know what I heard. I just want to be able to see what I heard.
Well, in this documentary, you'll be able to do just that.
Well, that is awesome.
Also, in that film, you're going to see that we use lasers sometimes, and whenever we pick up a heat with the thermals and we can't see anything, we'll use the laser little pin lights, and that will either go all the way to that tree or it'll stop.
Right. Those hunters use the same thing.
Yeah, if they're translucent, it's going to stop.
Right.
We'll still pin them, and in the film we actually have where we got the pin on them, and it's a close-up shot where you're going to see where the pin light is hitting it. You're going to see it looks like lines or a plastic, invisible plastic, because you can see the lines of the light shoot up around it, and something is right there, but you don't see it.
Wow.
But also later in the film, we actually show you what is there in the translucency. I mean, it's a perfect couple shots, couple different pictures of different translucency creatures, but you'll see the waves and everything that we're talking about and how to look for them and what they look like.
So you think that there's multiple creatures,
yes, multiple.
not just one?
No. I mean, with that DNA, it mutates, it changes. So, whatever is eaten in that area is going to be the DNA. And if they're just passing through, that's still new DNA in that area. So you're going to have a multitude of dogmen living together with Bigfoots, with rakes, with goblin looking things. There's small ones, there's big ones, there's tiny ones, there's some that look like serpents with beaks or bird heads. There's some that look like owls, but they're furry creatures.
I know several people that I know what they would call them.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of that sounds like fae.
Like what?
Fae, like the fairy, the lands of Twilight.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but I know what you're talking about.
Type thing.
But
very big and like Celtic lore or whatnot.
Yeah, and fairies, they're not good either.
Do what?
Fairies, they're not good things either.
Oh no, they're not. No, they're. I believe I probably would rather run into a Bigfoot than a fairy.
That's what I'm hearing too. But I think I would not want to meet these unless I have what I have.
Right. That or a gift. Well, I've always heard or read in the lore of fairies that never accept a gift from one unless you can give a gift back of equal or greater value.
No. Never exchange and never accept a gift. And also, anybody you meet in that forest, don't go home with, don't eat food with, and don't accept anything or directions from that person or what's in front of you.
That makes sense.
Because these things will take a form that you're used to, what you're accustomed to, and they will send you in the wrong direction, or it's just right, or they want to take you home for dinner.
Right.
And they'll say that too. Why don't you come to my house and eat?
Don't you find it odd, man, with a lot of the missing people throughout the North? Just let's just focus on the North American continent alone. The amount of missing people that there is, and then when you go start snooping certain cases, you get all kinds of misdirection, or that never happened, or something like that from the officials.
Well, I wouldn't take any report from any of those officials or anyone actually, because they don't know what we know, and they're going to use what they are told to do.
So you cut out.
Oh, I said I wouldn't take any report from any of those people because they're told to do a certain report for everyone.
Yeah.
And we've also got confirmation from other trackers and other people with this firsthand experience and activity happening right now of information of cover-ups and things like that, and of finding the boneyards and things like that.
Right.
So this is happening everywhere. It's not just.
I bet that would be creepy coming up on a boneyard like that.
Yeah, we would come up on 2 or 3 of them while out tracking and stuff. And what they call.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, and what they call a slaughterhouse, and people are finding these slaughterhouses, and when they report them, even the local police are talked to by the bigger guys, I guess you would say, and it just turns into a big cover up.
I know. Do you think it's because they think that we can't handle it, or or
Well,
I mean, you see, you see what I'm getting at?
yeah, well, a lot of people can't handle this, but they could handle it if they had the information.
Right. Because because after all, that's what people want nowadays is information since the creation of the internet.
Yeah, yeah.
So I believe you're right. There was a old man by the name of Philip J. Corso that spoke in front of Congress about UFO activity or whatnot. And that's why he was telling Congress. He was like, I believe that the young people of the day, the people that that have a better concept of the universe or whatever, even the things that's on this planet, tell them the truth. They can handle it. They can help figure it out.
Yeah.
And I believe that too.
Yeah, if everyone had this information, they would actually be using like these tracker techniques to clean out their areas. They would have their families trained, as far as scenarios if these creatures come out or something like that. The neighborhoods would be together. They would all be doing their own scouting. We would be cleaning these areas up together, because if they're doing it over there, we're doing it over here. And then we would either force these things out into the open, I just heard a car. I didn't know if it was.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh, it must have been our neighbors, because we only have like one or two.
All right. I wish I could say that. About 5, 6 around me.
Well, that's
there's
actually
plenty of woods too. But
yeah, that's actually really good that you have neighbors over there.
yeah, we keep watch on each other's place pretty good.
So have you went out 50 yards? Have you checked out your area?
Yeah, for the most part. When I can.
Okay, are there
I'm
any?
not working 12-hour shifts, but other than that,
Yeah, I understand that. For sure.
But I was going to tell you something new though.
Okay.
One of my buddies. Remember, I told you I was a correctional officer for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of my old brothers in arms, he wouldn't mind me saying his name. His name's Michael Pierre. But I helped him realize he had an experience when he was about 13, 14 years old. He said him and his dad went hunting, and here it is. Here's about the millionth and 1st time you probably heard this, and everybody else that's in the Bigfoot community. They were hunting off an old logging road, and he said he probably went about 300-400 yards back at the end of the logging road, about 300-400 yards. He said his daddy went one way, he went the other. He said he had a little spot that he always loved, and he said he was sitting down, had his back against a tree. He said he looked up, and he said there was a little owl sitting on the limb. The little owl was just checking him out, and he said all of a sudden the owl kind of like jerked and looked the other way, away from him, and flew off. And he said that's when he noticed that there wasn't a sound being made in the woods at all around him. And then he said that he started feeling a sense of fear. He said he couldn't move. And he said he started hearing whispering. And the whispering, he said, came from about 3 or 4 different sources. He said it wasn't just one or two people whispering. He said it was about 3 or 4, maybe 5. people that were whispering all around him. And he said the whispering kind of drifted away, and he heard a little bit of movement, not much. And then he said, and when the sound of the forest started coming back, he said that's when he started yelling for his dad to come get him.
Yeah, I can hear that.
You know, and all that, and you know, and one of the general consensus throughout the community says that these beings have infrasound and have developed the use of infrasound. And we all know that infrasound can cause visual and physical phenomenon to happen.
Yep.
It can make you sick, it can make you throw up, it can make you see spots, or what some people might perceive to be orbs.
Yep.
You know, or whatnot. And when I told him that about their use of infrasound, he was like, "Oh my God, it makes so much sense now."
Yeah.
And everything. And he got quiet there for about 15 minutes or so, just like thinking, and he was in his own head thinking. So apparently he went back to that day and relived it for a couple minutes. You know.
Yeah, we all do.
That I was able to help him figure out that's what happened.
Yep.
You know. And one more thing, I don't know if I told you about this one or not. This is the last. Well, yeah, it's the last thing. Well, I got, but when I was about 16, 17 years old, I was in a band. And it was on a road not too far away from where I live. And the guy's parents, they had bought the house. There was like, I mean, they bought, it was an old house, and they renovated it or whatnot. But there was an old shed out in the yard, and the old woman, the old lady that sold the house to his parents, told them that she lived in the house her whole life, even as a little girl. And she said that at nighttime, when she was a little girl, at nighttime, that a big hairy man would come and get in that shed and stay for several hours and then leave.
It seems like all the grandparents all have these stories.
Boogers?
Yep.
Yeah. Don't go outside after dark, or the boogers will get you.
We were just talking just the other day with another firsthand that the rule was get home before those street lights.
Yeah.
Yep. And those,
right.
Everybody's remembering all these things now.
What do you think? What do you think made people forget?
TV. Programming.
That's a big problem too. Yeah. One of the big problems. Yeah.
Yeah, it's to make us forget, to make us easy prey for this time that's coming.
Right.
You know,
there's a supernatural something happening.
There is.
I mean, you know, and I believe it. I believe it's a little foolish to not even think that there is or isn't anything like that going on.
Yeah, it's spiritual. It's spiritual first, then physical.
Yeah.
And
but have you noticed like the similarities between all the lores of the different people of the planet? How different, but yet how much the same they are.
Yeah. Yes, they're all the same all over the world. China, Japan, Vietnam, rock apes. They're everywhere, really.
Have you heard about the spiny back chimpanzees?
No, I haven't.
Where did I see that at? I'll have to try to find it and send it to you. There was a group of special forces doing a black ops something in Africa, and it was down the Congo, and this special forces unit came across what they say is they broke their silence. They haven't told their name. They've told it total anonymity, but they said that this happened. They videotaped it. The government confiscated the videotape from them, or the camera, whatever the hell they took it on, and whatnot. But they said that they were all uniform colored, all gray. They were all gray.
Mm-hmm.
They stood about 6 feet tall. They had spears, and they looked like they literally had like spines sticking out of their back, like kind of like what I thought of was porcupine quills, kind of.
Okay.
Like some kind of
spiked, kind of.
Yeah, something like that, you know. And everything. They said that they were all practically all the same color, and they had uniformity to themselves.
Yep.
And that was like they would all move together at one time, all in a single file line. You know,
yep.
All that. But that's the special forces. That special force unit called them the spiny back chimpanzees. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the same way like the Bigfoots here. You know, they all move together. They all bunch up to break up that silhouette, blend in together.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can see that. I can see a family of them working as a unit, like no different than a pack of wolves or a pod of lions.
Yeah, we call them troops instead of families because they're all hunters. Troops. Yeah, okay. They hunt together. They got their sentries. You know, they got their hunters, their decoys, their herders.
But do you think there's a possibility that there's any good ones out there?
No.
Really?
No.
No good ones at all?
No. We was talking that, you know, people were talking about good Bigfoots and bad Bigfoots, but Bigfoots have to survive the way they know how.
Right.
One Bigfoot doesn't go to charm school while the other one learns how to rip prey apart and set traps. They all learn to rip prey apart, the vulnerability, how to set traps, how to funnel prey into traps, how to use ambush, how to kill with clubs, spears, how to fight each other, how to mimic, to disguise, to sneak up, how to put on clothes, how to use a lantern, how to call somebody's child, how to wave, how to lure. So
I've heard of that, of several different people's stories I've read and heard of something in the woods calling their child's name. And for me, being a father, having a 13-year-old son, a 12-year-old daughter, you know, that's scary, man. That's some scary stuff.
Yep. I'm glad you identify.
But that's neither here nor there. That's all I know is that's why I have what I've got as far as weaponry. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And in that DVD, we do talk about spirituality and things, and also the mind protection technique and things like that. But we need to make sure your family and those surrounding neighbors know things are going on.
Yeah, they need to, but they all think I'm crazy anyway. So if I told them that, there's no loss for me either way. So you know.
What a lot of friends are doing is that they're ordering the DVD and getting with their neighbors and saying, let's just watch this.
Right.
That way you don't have to explain it. Try to say, well, this is what I've seen. This is what, you know, the video shows exactly what they need to see.
Exactly.
And then everybody wakes up because once you see it, you'll be like, okay, we got to step our game up. We got, you know, there's things out here that we need to start looking for.
Do you think that there's any kind of demonic presence?
Yeah, every one of them has that demonic predator presence.
Okay, well, what do you think about this? I got another friend. He lives a few states away, still in the South. Closer to your area, really, than it is mine. He's got I don't know, about 200 acres or so, nothing but woods. And he said that he has a family of them living near his house. He said the male is approximately 11 feet tall. He said every single one of them's eyes in the dark are green. And he says there's a couple of females. I've actually heard the recordings, and it's kind of spine tingling, really, because you hear the coyotes going, right?
Those aren't coyotes.
And then you hear something else joining in behind the coyotes.
Yeah, those aren't coyotes, and there's always like a lead voice in there.
Yeah.
You can hear that.
That was one that was more predominant than the other in the recordings that I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, and in that DVD, it's in there. What you're talking about.
Okay.
But
I'll have to make sure he sees it too.
Yeah, I would get everybody together.
But but from what he says, there's never been a hostile. He doesn't even get any kind of hostile vibe off of him.
Well, he is getting a lot of activity. He's just, and you can even ask him, he goes home, he turns that TV on, he may have the air conditioner on, maybe the radio, maybe a fan. He's got a lot of things in his house that makes noise. So he's not going to hear the little bump outside, the creak on top of the house, or the
ones that walks inside that he says that do.
Yeah. There's some inside of the house already because people don't know to keep those doors closed.
Right.
Kids run in and out. That door is wide open. These translucent predators wait by that door for that kid to open that door and leave it wide open, or a parent to run out and yell at the kids. Next thing you know, it's in the shadows. It moves into a closet, goes underneath the bed.
Parent tells the kid to shut up.
And then the parents tell the kid it's nothing.
Yeah, just a little bump in the night. Don't worry about it.
Yep. But we have to listen to those kids.
Isn't it funny how it's children that are pretty much always the ones that can see?
Well, they have a stronger energy, a stronger life force. As adults, we give a lot of our energy away to, like, even watching a football game, that's giving energy away. If we watch movies, there's different things that we give our energy away to, while the children hold theirs because they're experiencing right now. So their energies are way more predominant, more stronger than ours. These Bigfoots and these predator creatures can see energy. And to them, that's just a big ball of energy plus, the physical of the meat and the blood. But also the kids, they not only see different than us because they're not tainted by the lies that we've been taught, but they get a different light spectrum than we do. The lower you are, the brighter the light. So the children and dogs and animals, they see better than we do because the higher you go or the older you get or the taller you grow, the less light we have.
Gotcha.
So whenever we're tracking, all the trackers, we always either almost lay on the ground or we get down to ground level to start to see that path to see that underbrush, to see those shadows. And we can, when we're down on the ground level, we can see everything.
Right.
And that's where the children are. They're lower than us. They can see, and they're more observant, because I know mom might say that this is not real, but I'm looking at something and I'm going to keep my eyes open.
Right.
So even if the parents don't believe the children, those children know it's there.
I'll tell you a little story if we got time.
Yeah, yeah.
When my little boy was, I don't know, about 2 or 3 years old, he looked at my wife and he kept asking her who the other mother was. And my mother passed away in 2009, but he kept asking her who the other mama was. And they were looking at some pictures, and he said, that's the other mama. And he pointed at my mom. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I promised my mama that I'd take care of her little dog for her, and I did. And eventually, of course, the little dog died. Well, I had her cremated, and I went, after I got off work, it was a Sunday morning, Mother's Day, so I went and buried the cremated remains of her little dog with her. And when I got home, my little boy was awake, and he was standing in his doorway. And I said, "Hey, little man, what's going on? What's up?" You know. And he said, "Hey, Daddy." And he reached up for me, so I picked him up, I hugged him, and he looked. I swear to God, after he hugged me, he looked beside my head, and he said, "Daddy, who's the other mama?" And he pointed behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned around. Of course, I didn't see nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt, I don't know, man. I felt like a million tons was lifted off of me that day.
Mm-hmm.
I felt, I don't know, I felt an easiness that I haven't, that it took a long time for me to feel towards my mama's passing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when my little boy said, "Daddy, who's the other mama?" and he was pointing behind me, there's not a doubt in my mind he didn't see her.
Well, there's though that scenario, but there's also that these Bigfoots will use familiarity through the mind to lure, to pull people into a trap. The adults, we're not well, when we look at things, we look for shadows, outlines, blurs, oddities, distortions. That's what we look for. Children see better than we do, but these things they know our thoughts. You know, they can get into those heads. And children are more open because they don't know of like the mind protection technique. They don't know that they can close their mind so that these things don't come in, these voices, these words. But that familiarity, yeah, that familiarity is to lure. So if we're saying, "Oh, it's," and you know, I don't want to, you know, disrespect you in any way, but there's a lot.
No, I'm open to all. I'm open to, my mind's open, bro. I mean, I don't know any other way of explaining that to you.
Okay.
You know,
these creatures will use that familiarity to get to lull us into a
false sense of security.
False sense of security. Perfect. And once we do that, you know, it's going to be in that child's room. It's going to be in that closet. It's going to be underneath that bed. It's going to be in that corner. That kid's going to have dreams because these things with that open door through dreams, and it's that if the child is able to see it already, then that connection has been made. And so this child will have dreams, will have visuals, because this thing is interacting with it. And this is also whenever the parents will say, oh, just go back to sleep. Don't worry about it. You just had a bad dream.
Right.
Has any of these things happened?
Well, I'll tell you what. If I find out for sure that's what happened ever in my life, and I truly do come across one and I'm able to, you know, injure this thing,
Yep.
I'm going to kick him square in the, you know what?
Good. That's what.
You know, actually, I got a baseball bat that would probably work a lot better for that.
Yeah. But keep that weapon with you.
Oh yeah, I keep my weapons with me all the time.
Us too. And the rule is no further than 10 feet from your weapon at all times.
Right.
And when you're outside doing things, make sure you have something, or at least have something visible in your hand. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Because they can tell a hunter from, you know, someone who's going to shoot with them, you know, at them.
Right, right.
But we need to, I would say, sit down and talk with the child and say, is there anything that's happened lately? Anything in your closets? Any dreams? You know, let's find out what the child, because parents.
He remembers that too. I'll ask him to this day if he remembers asking who the other mama was, and he said, "Yeah, I remember."
Yeah, and also ask him about things happening now. Anything he feels, oddities. You know, does he feel anything in his room, in the house? You know, because our bodies are all sensors and feelings, so he can't pick it up. You can pick it up when you have that chill on your right side or left side, or just feel like a tingle. You know, there's something in the house. There's something in the house.
Excuse me. There's a lot. I know a lot of old folks, especially in the one of the circles that I'm very familiar with. But a lot of the old timers in that circle, they call it the old magic.
Yep.
And it's and they refer to the feeling you get in your stomach.
Yep.
That good feeling you get in your stomach when you feel good about something, and that, you know, dull doom sensation that you feel if it's like a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that the old timers, yeah, they refer to that as the old magic. And this guy's up in Alaska, so he's, you know, he's around the real deal. And as a matter of fact, I asked him one time, you know, I said, since you've been in Alaska, have you seen or come across, heard, whatever, anything weird? You know, and he came back, and his exact words was, there seems to be much merit into the legends of what the natives say around here. That was that word for word. That's what he said.
Yeah, and it is true. You know, it was for a while there that you would see all these Facebook groups and YouTube channels. They were all saying, well, the Indians say that it's a big brother or a protector of the forest. And, you know, to me and to the people, to my people, you know, especially the Choctaws, we're saying, no, that's not our account. You know, our account says that they steal our children and we have to go kill them.
The Cherokee, they here in the state, in North Carolina and the mountains,
mm-hmm.
they refer to them taking their women.
Yep.
It's not the children they're interested in; it's the women.
Yeah, and they will rape the women and eat them at the same time.
Man, that's messed up.
Yeah, we got some reports around, I think, New York or Dallas area, I believe. This is like in the rural areas too. You know, these things are happening.
Do you think that this has got a lot to do with the a lot of the missing native ladies that have gone missing?
Well, there's two reasons. Well, actually, there's three reasons. The first reason is that the natives have the old positive or old negative bloodline.
Uh-huh.
So that's a healing bloodline, and that's the most that's sought after.
Okay.
The other reason is the old positive bloodline with the Indian people. They are taken to either be eaten or for their blood or to mate with. And what I'm talking about now is human predators right now for just a second.
Okay.
Now, they also, some of these governments, and that's why I said don't trust any official unless you was raised with that person.
Right.
Not someone who just moved into your area. Even if they moved into your area 20 years ago, you still don't trust this person. But the other reason is that they also give hunts, some of these officials. And I know that in the north, there's a place called the Trail of Tears, the Highway of Tears.
Yep.
And the Royal Canadian Mounties up that way, because I know a lot of Indians up that way, they have been captured, not for doing anything wrong, but just captured, and the women are raped and the men are beat. They get bloody, and plus, with the rape, then they drop them off on these highways, the Highway of Tears, which there are predators and Bigfoots in that area. So now you've got a bloody raped woman, or you've got a bloodied man dropped off in areas where these predators hunt at night. They're called starlight tours.
Huh.
Yep.
And this is a thing?
This is a thing. Yeah, it's even got a name, Starlight Tours.
Starlight Tours.
Yep.
And the third one. So there's 3 reasons.
And what state's this in?
Reason
That one, I want to say that's in BC, Canada. And you can Google Highway of Tears, Starlight Tours. Now, also in New Mexico, when I was traveling through and I stopped to talk with the Navajo people, some of the, I guess you would say the Indians who weren't homed or housed at that time, who were in the shelters, that the police in, what's this place called? I can't think of the name of the place, but it's right on the highway. I want to say 20 as you go through New Mexico, Farmington or something like that. I'm not really sure. But the natives will tell you that the police will not only will just, beat them, but will take them out to a certain area and drop them off, and they all run back to the town because things chase them or come out of the woods. So a lot of officials are feeding these things or getting rid of people that they find undesirable, including homeless and people like that, runaways and things. That's why I say don't trust them unless you grew up with them, unless that's unless you know these people.
Yeah, dead men can't tell no tales.
Exactly. We don't trust anybody really. I mean, whenever we talk about new people, plus we know that we can pick up on the senses of good people, but we always go and ask other people, like, do you know this guy, and things like that. But anybody who we don't know just showed up out of the blue, we're real wary, especially the ones who want to help us.
All right. Man. Yeah, it's just weather's gotten back being pretty around here. It's pretty soon we got to take off and start hitting the hiking trails up here in the URA National Forest. Right up here, really, it was right up behind my house. Really.
Yeah.
That's where Tuckertown Dam, that with the hoofs walking by me happened.
And
that happened about 15-minute ride away from here, actually.
There's been a huge increase in missing people and drowned victims, so be aware of that in your areas also.
Okay.
Did you have any rain during the blood moon?
A little bit. You talking about the one that just happened just like 1 or 2 nights ago?
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday.
The lunar eclipse.
Yeah. Did
I think we got a little bit of rain before it happened.
Okay.
Not during.
Okay. Did you get a rumble of thunder or a crack of lightning? The sound.
No, I don't think so. Because I worked that night.
Okay. Good.
And I operate a forklift, so I have to go in and out outside all night long. So no, I didn't notice any.
Okay, because wherever there's a group of Bigfoots called Thunder, and there's a group of Bigfoots called Lightning, but there's also Bigfoots called Frost, Snow, Mist, and Fog, I guess, is one of them. But you know, the light colored Bigfoots, they all have the name, like the snow, that's called snow. They'll come out there and sit in that snow. That's whenever they hunt. The thunder and lightning groups, they only hunt during these eclipses, full moons, and rainstorms.
Oh, okay.
Now these are the ones who are going. Huh?
Just the thunder and lightning come out during the thunderstorms and the eclipses and stuff.
Yep.
Others do also.
I mean, there's others out there, but these certain groups only get to come out and hunt during this time.
And you said thunderstorms,
eclipses, and full moons. Yeah, but whenever you hear thunder or lightning in trackers, we say hear thunder, find thunder. See lightning, find lightning. We want to know where that sound is coming from.
Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, it's not in the sky, it's on the ground. And you can hear it if you listen, because you can hear a ground level compared to a sky level.
All right.
Like, hey, that come over from in the distance. They didn't come from the sky.
And what's these other ones called, you said?
There's even some called dew who hang out until the early morning. The rest of them around 4 or 5 will go back to their hiding spots and take their sentry positions. There's some that are called dew who hang out in the morning, but those who like the snow, mist, fog, and you're like a light colored Bigfoots, you'll also find them in the sun, but there will be in like the vegetation that's real lit up, so you really can't see them. But thunder and lightning, they come out during the storms, and they use the storms as cover, the rain, and they produce their own sound of thunder and lightning. And these are the ones who will grab your house, shake your house, stomp outside, make you feel that rumble, and they'll try to lift your tent up. They'll try to get in, though. And what we were talking about is if you have these groups in your areas in the morning, you're going to have downed trees. You're going to have trees that are bent as a blind for you to come out in the morning to check that out or to cut it, and they'll be waiting right there.
Okay. I'll have to check that out, especially some mornings when I get off work.
Yep. Look for this. Look for this stuff. And like I said, all of this is in the DVD, even the spiritual part, talks about dreams. I mean, we put everything pretty much into this video so that people have it and they know what to do. They know what to listen for, what to look for. We talk about their DNA, their origins, their purpose, everything really.
You know, the guy I just told you about that owns all the acres and has a family of them living on his property.
Yeah.
He says that the females, well, one of the females comes to him in dreams.
Yeah.
Trying to talk him into coming out into the woods and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And
you know,
and also they'll do that, and like I said, they will use that familiarity. If they can get him to come out or look outside, he's going to see his desire or something that will pull him into that woods. You know, it may be, you know, if he is a single guy or something, you may see a beautiful young woman just kind of dashing behind a tree naked. You know, it's going to be something to pull him into the woods or off that porch, away from the threshold, away from the security of the home.
Right.
They want him out there.
And that's pretty much what he said. His dream that it's always, you know, he'll see a glimpse of a girl in his dream. You know, he'll see a glimpse of a girl, and then like she'll dash behind a tree or something like that, and then he'll start hearing her talk to him in the dream. And when he goes to try to find her, she's not there, but he can still hear her talk, stuff like that. You know.
Keep coming further, they're saying.
Right.
Keep coming further, right into the trap.
Well, I bet that would be bad with a sleepwalker.
Yeah, a lot of people get in that trance because that dream is real.
Right.
And whenever they communicate like that, they can get you by thought to get you to will your body to sleepwalk.
Do you think that we as humans have the potential to have these gifts?
We have them.
Well, how do you think that people have forgotten how to use them?
No training, no teachers.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and plus we're taught to ridicule people who do think this way. And we're also we're also taught that we don't have this ability at all.
So you think there's much merit into the whole third eye thing then, huh?
Oh yeah. We're all spiritual. We're just taught physical. And when you're only taught physical, when you're meeting a spiritual Bigfoot who's also physical, he's got the upper hand, or it's got the upper hand, because your spirituality is not intact, or that person's spirituality is not intact. The physical is there, the fright, the fear is there, but if the people have the spirituality intact, there is no fear. And
that also makes sense.
And the Bigfoots are weary, and they stay away from the people who have no fear of them.
Well, I imagine so. That's like the grizzly bear coming across the Wolverine deal.
Yep.
Kinda, you know.
Yep.
Somebody 12 feet tall looks down at a 5'8" person that ain't scared. They're like, you know, instantly, well, what's this person know?
Yeah. Why isn't this one scared of me?
Right.
Why is this one different? I'm going to go over to this next house to the people down the road who are scared of me and don't know anything about me.
Right.
Yeah, looking always for that easy prey. Now we talk about the mind protection technique in the DVD, but I also want to let you know that whenever we use the mind protection technique, we have to tell our body to do something while we're in this state. So if you've got an encounter or you're face to face, you tell your body right then, get to the car, protect me, use the weapon, get me to the car, and let's get out of here. Leave that program there. Now you begin your mind protection technique. that protection will build a wall around your mind so that you don't get dizzy, sick, disorientated, you know, things like that. And the way you do that is you have to quit thinking about the past, the present, and the future, and quit talking inside your mind to yourself. And a lot of people have to practice this because once you break it, you know, you lower your guard down. But if you keep that up, you will always have the mind protection. The infrasound, the voices, the projection of fear will not make it to you. It will bounce back to the projector. So the Bigfoot who has projected all this will receive it back to them because it has to come back to them.
Right.
So while you're in your protection technique, this Bigfoot's getting nervous because your only thing is your body knows what to do. It's moving back to the car. It's what protecting its body. It's got that weapon ready. It's getting in the car. It's putting in gears, pulling out. But it's also saying I can't get through to this person, and this person is projecting fear at me. So I'm going to hang back here because this person, the projection I'm getting is that it's going to kill me, like meaning that person.
Right. Right.
We're just reflecting everything back to it. We don't accept anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to accept any of their energy at all.
Yeah, we was tracking one time with some friends in Colorado, but they were here in Oklahoma, and same thing happened. They got zapped also. They got disorientated. They got like giddy, like they was like really high or something. And you know they weren't themselves, and so we had to remind them, use the mind protection technique right now because this is not you as far as their dizziness and giddiness and disorientation. And so they used that technique and then they came back. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that we indeed have a defense against their quote unquote infrasound.
Of course.
Okay.
And also, like we tell everybody about the feelings in the body, you know, you're gonna, wherever that predator is, if it's on the right side, you're gonna feel the hairs on your right side or goose pimples show up. Your body's gonna tell you exactly where this predator is. And if you turn to your left and you feel it on your left side, you'll turn back a little right, hone in. And wherever you feel that it's even on both sides of you, then it's right in front of you. That's the direction. You just honed in on it. So even if you can't see it, your body honed in on it.
Right.
And that's when you take pictures or take your shot. But you also need to know that there are 21, 25 footers out there. You know, it's not just a 7, 9, 10 footer.
My God. I really don't know what I would do.
That's why we say keep weapons with you at all times.
25 foot tall.
And they're the size of a half of a house.
Anybody got any RPGs handy?
That's what I'm saying. Whenever, you know, we go out, we carry as much as we can when we go out.
I hope somebody's got a 500 Smith & Wesson 500 or something.
We make sure we got what we need.
Lord.
And you know, we also make sure we have our 12-inch knives. We make sure that even if it comes down to a hand-to-hand, we still have weapons. And of course our spiritual armor. We are spiritual people, and we have honed that in on us also.
Right.
And we know it's a spiritual battle, so we know what's going to be in front of us, and we know we're okay with that. But you know, like I said, you got to see this film. You got to. We talk with another tracker also in there, and you know, we're kind of talking about these same things, just about. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah, man. I'll try to soak up as much knowledge and information as I can.
Yep.
On these things.
Yeah.
From not just, from everybody and anything that I can,
Yep.
No amount of information is useless.
You're right.
And stand up.
So, but yeah, it's definitely a crazy world. That's for sure.
Yeah, and even if you see people who want to give information, even to children, make sure those people have a platform. Let those children speak, or even on the internet in like the Facebook groups. Make sure people aren't put down for showing images that are not 100% clear, but those people know this shadow is not supposed to be here.
Right.
And we know it too, because we tell people, know your area, know every shadow, every tree, every bush. Take pictures daily, and if you see a difference or an oddity out there, that's a Bigfoot, that's a predator out there in that woodline watching.
Right. Yeah, man. They several videos of people just catching that one shadow, and it's got to be something because it keeps moving.
Yep. Oh yeah. And
I mean, we know the difference between wind moving plants around to make it look like something's moving as opposed to something actually moving.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it would definitely have to be a life altering experience for sure. Because I know that just the couple little things that's happened to me, I mean, it changed my life. It set me on a course to always try to find out as much information as I can.
Yeah, I was talking with a grandmother, and she was talking about when she first seen the 19-footers. Little life-changing time for her.
I mean, like, it's a good thing that the human mind has coping mechanisms.
Yep.
Because a duck that should be 25 foot tall, but a giraffe, I mean, or even if they get that tall, I'm just saying.
Yep. Yep.
It would have to be to a point of it being maddening.
Well, in the old books, they talk about these some of these Bigfoots, eating 200 people at a time. Just so huge that they were just eating 200 people, 300 people.
Do you think that these Bigfoot could be leftover remnants of the giants, the tales of the old giants that people had to rise up and kill?
They are the old giants.
They are the old giants. Okay.
Yeah. And we've had to do this over and over and over. And the only thing that happens is when the people rise up to do it, the Bigfoots move on to the next town. It may look good in our area. That doesn't mean it's over, and that doesn't mean that was the last one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And those people in that next town or village who doesn't know, that whole one comes up missing.
See, and my ancestors' beliefs, they called these beings the Yoti. And the poem, The Tale of Beowulf?
Not really familiar with that, but I think I've seen.
You have heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in The Tale of Beowulf, there was this monster known as Grendel. And a lot of historians debate on whether Grendel was a troll or was he a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot. And it did describe, well, man, sorry about that. I'm outside in the old man cave, so.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's the traffic and the local redneck population. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway,
Yeah.
no offense to you know, the rednecks out there.
No offense to them.
but yeah. And I totally forgot what I was talking about.
Grendel.
Oh yeah, the Grendel. Yeah, there's even tales going back to the ancient Sumerians with the tale of Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
You know, this huge hairy person. You know, I can't remember his name in the tale right off the top of my head without looking it up. But yeah, they've always been here.
Yep.
Apparently.
Yep. You are correct.
So there's got to be an ounce of truth in every legend and tale and myth out there, right?
Yeah. And we've been taught to forget it. That's folklore. That's nonsense. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. You're crazy. You need medication. What are you smoking?
Right.
You know, we're taught to ridicule the truth.
You're not allowed in this group.
Yeah, they'll even kick you out of Facebook groups if you talk the truth.
They will do that.
They sure will.
You tell the truth anywhere and they're going to kick you out, is what it seems like nowadays.
Yeah, even if you defend somebody, you know, for sharing their pictures that like for us, we can see those shadows. We can see those images that people are showing us, but these other people don't see it and they ridicule these people. But we're going, well, you can see it right there. Just look at the outline and, you know.
Yeah, right. I know those folks, those types of folks.
Yeah, me too. And it irritates me that these people are showing them there's something here. You know, I might not give you the clear photo, but I'm saying this shadow does not belong in my backyard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This 12-foot shadow behind this tree that makes it look like a fat tree is not.
Yeah, this imaginary thing just growled at me.
Yeah, and this growling sound that just happened, you know.
Well, these are, you know, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut right now. I'll be good. But yeah, those people suck. We don't want nothing to do with those types of people.
No, and they're like those two clown faces. Laugh now, cry later.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what's out there, and they're going to get that surprise whenever people are showing, hey, there's a shadow there, and they're not going to see it. Eventually, they're going to make it over that way where that shadow is.
Well, and one day when they finally do see it, they're either going to accept it or it's going to drive them crazy.
Or it's going to be the last time. Their first time will be their last time.
Oh, yeah. Or either they won't be seen ever again.
Yeah.
They'll be spiritually responsible for everyone they mock on.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, some people are just doomed to a certain mindset, and you know,
and that makes them doomed in the physical.
Right. You know, me personally, you know, I don't knock anybody for their beliefs at all. You know.
Yeah.
But the one type, you know, and a lot of people can call me dumb for saying this. I really don't care, but you know, people that don't accept a higher power,
yeah,
that doesn't accept that there's something else there, you know,
yeah,
and they're like, well, you can't see it, you know, then how do you believe in it? You know, you can't see the wind.
Right.
I'm just saying, you can't see wind,
yep,
but you know it's there
yep.
because you feel it.
And that's also with translucent Bigfoots. You may not see it, but it's there.
Right.
And whenever
it's like you said, that tingling you get.
Yep, yep. It'll let you know. We have to rely on those feelings. Your feelings will say, "Hey, let's get out of here." Let's, you know, your feelings will even say, I want an ice cream. Let's go get an ice cream right now." You know. But that energy is telling you something's going to happen here. Let's move. Let's get somewhere else. Let's enjoy the ice cream and come back.
Right.
So we just have to listen to ourselves. Our body's talking to us all the time.
Listen to the old magic, as the old timers say.
Exactly.
The elders say.
It's there to help us. And we got to always remain calm in these situations. Everyone's taught us to fight or flight, and that's the wrong thing to do. We have to stay level-headed, calm, and know what we're doing. And this also helps with the predator because, I mean, it doesn't help a predator. It helps us because that predator is used to fight or flight.
Right.
But you're calm, moving slow, raising that weapon slow like you would with a deer. I don't hunt. I mean, I used to, but I don't. But, you know, if there's a deer there and it walks out in front of you and it stops, you can still slowly, without making, you know, your silhouette wide, but pull that rifle up, you know, slowly in front of you, and that deer will still stand there while you get the shot. But if you break your silhouette, you know.
Right.
But we got to remain calm, level-headed. Our shots have to be exact.
And you can even apply these same techniques to real life situations too. I mean, well, you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
If like something would happen out in the street or something, you know, like you said, going out to get ice cream, you could apply those techniques if somebody was there wanting to start something.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever else.
Yeah.
And then try to make it sound like real life. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But all the way around, I would think that it's a good lesson to learn. Period. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we got to listen to ourselves. Except for when we're doing the mind protection technique. That's the only time we just shut everything down and keep going.
Right.
But also, if you have to shoot, you shoot into the eyes, inward to where the skull's in the center. So shoot inward through the eyes, underneath the arms, that's tender. And also, this will still kill them, but it'll take a while. So that's the buttocks and the groin.
That's a slow death right there.
Yeah, but we still, you know, we got to get those shots in there.
Right. You got to do what you got to do.
We do, because they will come back, and we got children.
And because I've heard the horror stories that bear hunters have gone through.
Yep.
Or just that one lone forestry worker out tagging trees or whatnot, coming across a cub and then having to deal with mama's wrath. And the adrenaline that these things has got, you know, their heart can explode. They can go 20 seconds, and or whatnot. Just the amount of ferocity coming from that, and that's just a bear.
Yep.
Now just imagine something 10 feet tall and damn near bulletproof.
How about 20 foot tall?
Now, I don't want to think of him.
I hear you.
Not without said RPG.
Yep, I hear you.
You know, oh, a semi truck. That's it. I get Bigfoot for real.
Yep.
The big monster truck.
Yep.
Get Bigfoot for real. Against that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And see, a lot of people don't understand that with that size, that they can be in the tree line, and we're looking for a 6-7 footer whenever it's looking right at us, and it's you can't look through the tree line.
Yeah. And you're thinking something's head should be here when actuality it's further up. And you're not thinking about looking further up.
Yep.
Because most people can't comprehend something being 20 feet tall.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
But we got to watch all those waterways, all those ponds, lakes, camping areas, roadside stops, any place where, even Walmarts, things like that where they're up against the brush lines.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we've been finding a lot of places are building Walmarts out in the woods for people to go to.
Really?
Inactive areas.
Are we talking full scale Walmart or like small Walmart Express?
No, Walmart's everywhere. Where I would say where Walmarts are, there's either a housing addition real close to it, or there's a forest area real close to them.
I also do know for a fact that all Walmarts up to and including 1 mile from it is always a railroad.
Yep, you're right. All this
theories about that.
Yeah, all this is coming to a head also.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, people's being set up. Even, with the bridges and everything, they're making the bridges easily to collapse during like
an invasion
or an earthquake or something like that.
Yeah.
And whenever that happens, everyone from that bridge to the next bridge, that's a section.
Okay.
And so everything can be wiped out in that section before they move on to the next section. It's also part of the end game, is what a lot of spiritual people will talk about.
Right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, man. There's no way for you to hear this.
Can you record it with his phone?
That has got to be. That sounds just like a coyote.
Okay, that's not a coyote. If you're outside, I would recommend let's go inside and.
Oh yeah, I'm outside in my driveway.
Oh, okay.
I got my AR.
Good.
Right near me. So.
Okay, good. Let's not be hanging out in dark areas and things like that. Because whenever we're distracted and talking on the phone, making noise, they're coming in closer.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to try to listen to how far off the next series goes if it happens again.
Well, also, whenever they're doing it in a distance, they're also saying that we're in position here. And
it's almost like they know me and you were talking or something.
They do. They can hear us talking on that phone right now. And they're saying there's somebody outside. I can hear them.
Here comes traffic. Let this car pass. And then in about 15, 20 seconds, there's going to be another truck pass.
Okay. But also, I recommend that when you go inside, like during the night, stay up a night or two. Whenever you get a chance, turn everything off and just listen for hours.
Last night during the full moon, was it last night? Yeah, last night was a full moon, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, still partial.
there was not a sound last night about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. There was not a sound out here.
Were you out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Whenever they go quiet, they're focused on something or somebody.
Oh,
Well, I hope they know that I've got like a lot of ammo.
Yeah, they know if you got something in your hand, they know. And they're real cautious around you because you're the only one that has the weapon. Now, when the kids or the wife or neighbors, they come outside, they will go into the house. They will get as close as they can to these people. If they can grab somebody, they will.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to stay up for a little while tonight.
Yep.
And I'm going to come outside and do a little bit of recording on my voice recorder on my phone and see what I can capture.
If you can, what I would do is probably turn your voice recorder on and just put it on your porch and go inside. And then when you come back out, make sure you flip that light on and go back and grab your phone. But make sure it's secure because they will take your phone if it's out there. But you can record.
Okay. Well, I got a perfect spot for it then.
Okay. And let your phone do the recording. You don't have to be out there.
And you know something else that's strange? I've got a dog. His name's Appa. And he's I think he's half lab, half German Shepherd is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But anyway, he don't ever growl at nothing. It's either he kind of howls sometimes when there's a siren or fire truck, something like that,